Okay, fourth word problem from chapter 1, 2 points make a line. So, we have a coffee shop that costs them $102 to make 100 cups of coffee, $172 to make 200 cups of coffee. So, if you assume that cost and production are linearly related, find the total cost of producing X cups of coffee. So, there's our word problem. So, what's the first thing you do? Well, what are you looking for? And this is a little different from the previous ones because there's no question mark, but they do tell you something. Find something, right? So that tells you what you're looking for. And what we're looking for is the total cost of producing X cups of coffee. So what are they actually asking for here? Well, they're saying find a formula that has this variable X in it, that tells you if you make X number of cups of coffee, that tells you what your total cost is. And they also tell you that this formula should be a line. So what are we looking for? A line relating number, I suppose I should write out number of cups of coffee produced and they actually tell you what that variable should be. It's X to total cost. Which we'll call C. Right. You could call it Y. Y is also a traditional letter for this. And we're looking for a line. So ideally what we want is something, our answer should be something in the form of C equals MX plus B. Find these. Right. And what's unknown here actually is M and B. We don't know what the slope of this line is, and we don't know what the y-intercept is, but we need to find this. And this is a cost problem, right? And as we saw in the previous problem, right, slope is your variable cost. That's the cost of making a cup of coffee. And the y-intercept is your fixed cost. It's how much it costs to, have the machine that makes the cup of coffee or whatever. So, what do we have here relating cost and production? Well, we know if we make 100 cups, that costs $102. So put up a little table. XC, this is production, how many cups of coffee I make, and this is my cost. And 100 cups of coffee, that's $102. And 200 cups of coffee, that's $172. So what do we have? We have 2 points on a line. And which line are they on? They are on our cost and production line. Right? We know if we make 100 cups, it costs us $102. We know if we make 200 cups, it costs us $172. So our 2 points are 100, 102, and 200, 172. So once we have 2 points, we know how to actually find the equation of the line. So how do we do that? First, the slope of the line, traditionally the letter M, is 172 minus 102 over 200 minus 100. To find the slope, you take the difference in the y-coordinates, here are the c-coordinates, the difference in the cost, 172 minus 102, and divide by the difference in the x-coordinate, in the production. So 200 minus 100. And that is 70 over 100, which is 0.7. We can interpret this and say each cup costs $0.7 or 70 cents to make. Okay, and I have no idea if that's actually true, right? I'm just making these numbers up. Great, so now we know what the slope is. That's my variable cost, it's 70 cents. Well, once we have the slope and we have points, use the point slope formula to find the equation. Right? And the formula is in fact y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. We now know the slope, that's 0.7. x1, y1, that's the two coordinates of a point, so either 100, 102, or 200, 172. We can use either one. Since I made the choice to use C as my variable instead of Y, I'm going to change these to C minus C1. So cost minus a particular cost equals slope times X minus a particular production minus a particular production. So we can use whichever of these 2 points we want. I will use the first one. So C minus 102 equals 0.7 X minus 100. So there's my slope, 100 for X, 102 for C. Solve this. C minus 102 equals 0.7x minus 70, because they just distribute the 0.7. And then add 102 to both sides. 0.7x. 70 plus 102 is 32. Right? So this tells me cost of X cups of coffee. And you can check your answer if you want by plugging in X equals, say, 100 or 200 and see what you get out. If you plug in 200, you should get 172 out as the cost. So, many problems, including the supply and demand ones from section 1.2, are structured like this, where they give you 2 pieces of data. It costs a coffee shop this much to make that much. And then it costs this much to make that much. Right? And that's 2 points on a line. And once you know 2 points on a line, you know how to find the equation of the line, find the slope for first, and then use the point slope formula to actually construct the equation of the line. And finally, when we're dealing with costs as linear functions, right, the slope is the variable cost, the y-intercept is the